Hello book lovers, welcome to my channel where I'm going to provide you with some book recommendations, not reviews, because these are positive and they're based on the fact that I enjoyed these books and I think you will too. So today we're talking about a couple of YA, young adult novels that I really enjoyed. And I'm going to continue with my favorite author, or one of my favorite authors is Renée Watson. And the first book I'm going to talk about is actually the first YA novel that I read of Renée Watson's. Like the first book I read of hers was a middle grade novel. But this was my first YA novel that I read, and it's called Piecing Me Together. It's really a touching story about Jade, who has to bus from her poorer community into going to a private school because she and her family believes that she'll have better access to resources for her success. And in doing that, she has an opportunity to like a mentoring program and stuff, and be mentored with, or be partnered with someone who can help her get access to certain resources and whatnot. And the inside flap says, in this story about a girl striving for success in the world that feels too often like it wants to break her, Renée Watson once again delivers a thoughtful and relevant novel that explores issues of race, privilege, and relationships. This was really just a touching story, and one of my biggest takeaways from the story was in the middle of the book. I'm looking at it's like chapter 30, but I just have to read this. It says, "Be bold, be brave, be beautiful, be brilliant, be your best." I carry that. I definitely carry that with me. It was such a wonderful story to have. And my next book, which is also by Renée Watson, but it's co-written by Renée Watson and Ellen Hagen. It's another YA novel, Watch Us Rise, about teens in high school who see some injustices that are taking place in their school, or administrators are saying, well, some administrators or whatever say, we're going to do this, or wait your turn, or don't make a big deal about it. But these, kids are seeing that, okay, these changes need to take place. And so they figure out a way to use their voices to be heard, because they're being shut down. They're not being heard by the administrators of their school. So I'm going to read the inside cover. It says, sick over the way even their progressive school fails to listen to their voices, they start a new club, one dedicated to writing and creating work that supports women's ideas. Because art is never just art, and they know they can use their art to make a statement, to create change. They turn their voices to Write Like a Girl, an online outlet for essays, poems, and actions to inspire. And there's, I love this. Watch us shut it down. Watch us break it loose. Watch us I'm going to start over. Watch us shut it down. Watch us break it loose. Watch us rise. Finding your voice, speaking up for what you believe in, taking a stand, taking action. It's a very empowering book, especially for teens. I really enjoyed this book. Another book, that this one is not by Renée Watson, is by Ibi Zoboi. It's called Pride, a Pride and Prejudice remix. Just imagining if Pride and Prejudice was set in modern times in New York City, and it centered a black couple. So I'm going to read the inside flap like I tend to do. Zuri Benitez has pride, Brooklyn pride, family pride, and pride in her Afro-Latino roots. But pride might not be enough to save her rapidly gentrifying neighborhood from becoming unrecognizable. When the wealthy Darcy family moves in across the street, Zuri wants nothing to do with their 2 teenage sons, even as her older sister Janae starts to fall for the charming Ainsley. She especially can't stand the judgmental and arrogant Darius. Yet as Zuri and Darius are forced to find common ground, their internal dislike shifts into an unexpected understanding. Powerful book. Powerful book. It was fun. I mean, I do like the story of Pride and Prejudice, even though it did take me a minute to actually read it and stuff. But I did finally make it through. Once I got past chapter 2 of Pride and Prejudice, I was good to go. It was a great story. And I'm very happy with this book because this is my autographed copy. Meeting Ibi Zoboi was wonderful. And so one day I hope to meet Renée Watson. So I hope you enjoy these books, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to get some more book recommendations for gift ideas or to add to your own personal library.